This is the all-new Alpha Theta CDJ-3000X, the next generation of club standard technology. As the next iteration of Alpha Theta's ever-evolving CDJ lineup, the CDJ-3000X features multiple upgrades over its predecessor, the Pioneer DJ CDJ-3000. So here's what's new with this $2,999 CDJ. First off, you're getting a larger 10.1-inch high-performance capacitive touchscreen, built-in Wi-Fi for seamless streaming, an NFC touchpoint for instant cloud access, and USB Type-C support both on top and at the back of the unit. You also get enhanced track caching, which means that once you load a track, the entire file is stored in the player's memory. Then, there's on-the-fly playlist editing. So, for the first time on a CDJ, you can reorder tracks directly from the player itself. Also, you can now hide your track ID and adjust the grid without affecting the pitch, allowing you to either double or half it. And to top it all off, there's an all-new ESS Technologies digital to analog converter that delivers crisper, more detailed audio, plus plenty more features that we'll dive into later on. Now, just like its predecessor, the CDJ-3000X still comes with everything you loved. A fully colored high-resolution touchscreen, 8 RGB hotkey buttons, an improved 8.11-inch jog wheel with central displays, etc. However, one notable change is the removal of the SD card slot. In its place, the 3000X now offers both USB-C and USB-A inputs for faster and more flexible connectivity. So to simplify things, just think of the CDJ-3000X as a modernized future-ready CDJ-3000 upgraded and optimized for the way DJs perform today. With that said, let's dive into the details of this unit, then break down how it differs from its predecessor. And following that, let's also address the question in everyone's mind: is Pioneer DJ over with this Alpha Theta CDJ release? The first thing you'll notice when you see the 3000X is its larger touchscreen. Alpha Theta has bumped it up to 10.1 inches, about an inch bigger than the one on the 3000. And with that extra space, the display can now show up to 16 tracks at once, making it easier than ever to browse and navigate your library. The screen also previews your track's waveforms, which comes in handy for the touch cue feature that was introduced in the 3000s. The CDJ-3000X also introduces a couple of new features to help you search for a track quickly. You can copy track information and paste it straight into the search bar to locate the track, and this eliminates the need to frantically scroll through your library for tracks. Another brand new feature is that you can now edit your playlist directly from the touchscreen. Normally, you'd need to use Rekordbox DJ on your laptop to reorder the songs in your playlists. However, with the 3000X, all you need to do is hold down a track and move it to your desired position in your playlist. In addition to all that, Alpha Theta has increased the interconnectivity between the 3000X and your Rekordbox DJ libraries. So if you're using Cloud Library Sync, all changes made on the 3000X will be reflected in your libraries. Speaking of libraries, Alpha Theta also introduced a new feature that'll essentially collate all your tracks into one playlist. The global tag list gathers songs you've tagged from libraries across different forms of media. For example, you've tagged songs from different USB drives, cloud storage locations, and streaming services. All those songs will appear in one playlist on the 3000X. It will even start downloading songs from online sources once they're tagged, thereby reducing loading time and lag. Even the latency between Rekordbox Cloud Direct Play has been reduced, meaning the track information shows up on the touchscreen as quickly as it does from your USB drives. Next, we have the Hide Your Track ID function, which allows you to essentially hide your track's info even after you load a new track. Following that, we also have the ability now to double or half the BPM within the grid adjust. This makes it super easy to fix or tweak your BPM on the fly without messing up your mix. Now, since we've been talking about the CDJ-3000X's cloud compatibility, let's move on to its most stunning internal upgrade, its connectivity. The 3000X now comes with native Wi-Fi integration, allowing you to pull music directly from the cloud. Unlike previous CDJs that required an Ethernet connection, this model removes the cables entirely, giving you instant access to streaming platforms and your personal cloud libraries. Accessing your music is a breeze as well. The 3000X has an NFC touchpoint on the front panel, which allows you to instantly access online music via your smartphone running the latest version of Rekordbox for iOS/Android. It's also worth mentioning that with its current Wi-Fi capabilities, the 3000X is also compatible with music streaming sources such as Tidal and Beatport streaming. And who knows, this list could keep expanding in the future with more services. The 3000X also comes equipped with Type-A and Type-C USB ports for your drives. I, for one, welcomed the inclusion of a USB-C port as it reads and transfers information much faster than USB-A. There's also a Type-C USB port on the rear panel that serves as a direct connection for laptops or computers. And speaking of laptops, the 3000X also natively supports USB HID mode for Serato DJ Pro right from launch. With a full setup, the capacitive touchscreens will reflect the information from Serato's main display, making it much easier to focus on your mixing. Now before we talk about the performance upgrades, if you want to get the CDJ-3000X at the best price, along with other DJ gear, both brand new and pre-owned, the best place to shop is at Guitar Center for 3 simple reasons. Number 1, there's always a bunch of promos and sales going around. Number 2, they have the best after-sales service, so if anything goes wrong, your gear is covered. And number 3, their in-store DJ section is impressive and always getting better. You can try out your dream gear with everything already set up for hands-on demoing. So check the links down below for the best deal on the CDJ-3000X and try it out yourself at your local Guitar Center. Anyway, when it comes to playing your music on the 3000X, Alpha Theta has improved the overall performance of their latest flagship. This unit comes equipped with Gate Q, Touch Q, and introduces the Smart Q feature. A highly requested feature, Gate Q, lets you trigger sound only while holding down a hot Q button. Personally, this feature is a game changer on a CDJ, and I'm so happy it's finally been implemented. Moving on, the 3000X retains a popular Touch Cue feature, letting you preview any part of a track through your headphones by scrubbing the waveform. Now, it takes things even further by allowing you to set hot cues instantly from the exact point you're monitoring, even while the track is playing. And finally, we have Smart Cue, an entirely new feature for the 3000X, first introduced on the Opus Quad. So Smart Cue delivers a much smoother queuing experience by automatically updating the cue button with the color and position of any hot cue you call up. Speaking of the cue button, Alpha Theta has also redesigned the CDJ-3000X's play and cue buttons to deliver exceptional durability. So they've been rebuilt to withstand over 500,000 presses, far more than the CDJ-3000. Now another solid improvement is track caching. So if your USB drive gets disconnected or your internet drops for any reason, the 3000X keeps the track playing. That's because the player caches the entire track into its memory the moment you load it in. This means the song will play all the way to the end, giving you plenty of time to troubleshoot and keep the music flowing. Of course, we can't talk about CDJs without mentioning the jog wheels, and like everything else, they've also been improved. The 3000X now offers an expanded range of jog wheel adjustment, giving you even more flexibility and control when manipulating your music. Internally, the 3000X has also received a slew of performance upgrades to help deliver a cleaner, crisper sound to your sets. It features an all-new high-performance digital to analog converter made by ESS technology, meaning the 3000X achieves a better signal-to-noise ratio than previous models. In layman's terms, this means that the 3000X delivers a clearer signal than the 3000 and does away with unwanted background noise. In line with this, Alpha Theta has also redesigned the 3000X's power supply unit so you don't get any unwanted noise like static. This also enhances the low frequency power, resulting in a punchier bass and warmer tones that won't tire your ears out during long sets. Physically, the CDJ-3000X, bearing the increased screen size, differs only slightly from the CDJ-3000. First off, it features an anodized brush finish, giving it a more premium look over the 3000. It's also slightly wider than the 3000, though just by a little bit. The 3000X has also done away with a few features that arguably no longer have high usage amongst DJs. Remember the new USB slot I mentioned for Type-C USB drives? That replaced the SD card slot featured on many previous iterations of the CDJ. I can personally see this ruffling a few feathers, as many DJs still use SD cards for their sets. However, I personally welcome the Type-C slot as I don't use SD cards at all. Next, the redundant time mode and auto cue button have also been dropped. Moving on, a few buttons have been either rearranged or cosmetically redesigned. Slip and quantize now sit vertically rather than horizontally with each other. The in and out loop buttons now have a large black decal in the middle, giving them a more subdued look. The silver gray finish around the jog wheel is now also black, matching the surrounding case a bit more. And many of the markers, like the forward/reverse indicators around the jog wheels, have been done away with as well. However, one issue I have with the CDJ-3000X is that they also did away with the ticks on the tempo fader. This is not the first time I've seen Alpha Theta do this to their new releases, and I personally feel like it takes away from the overall design aesthetic. Anyway, the overall appearance of the 3000X hasn't strayed too far from the 3000, and this may be a good or bad thing depending on the DJ, but for a DJ like myself, it's good. So before I give you my verdict, let's address the question, is Pioneer DJ over? Alright, let's clear things up. So back in 2019, this was the organizational structure. We had KKR, and KKR owns Pioneer DJ Corporation. And under Pioneer DJ Corporation, there were 5 brands: Pioneer Pro Audio, Pioneer DJ, Recordbox, Kuvo, and Therese. So here's an illustration of the 2019 structure. Moving forward to 2020, in this year, Pioneer DJ Corporation changed its name to Alpha Theta, and Alpha Theta Corporation was then sold to Noritsu. So here's the current illustration. So what's happening now? There's a new brand under Alpha Theta Corporation, and that is Alpha Theta. And the CEO of Pioneer DJ and Alpha Theta is this gentleman right next to me here. That's right, it's the same person, Yoshinori Kataoka. And for the real Pioneer DJ nerds out there, Yoshinori-san is one of the engineers of the original CDJ-500 released in 1994. And speaking of engineers and geniuses, the same people making Pioneer DJ gear now are the same people making Alpha Theta gear. So the vision, quality, and direction is the same. So was the Alpha Theta CDJ-3000X worth the wait? Well, given all the upgrades, I'd have to say yes, depending on the DJ. Like I said earlier, think of this as a modernized CDJ-3000. If it were a huge leap forward, they would have called it the CDJ-4000. So temper your expectations with this refined iteration. Honestly, if you don't happen to need all those wireless bells and whistles, I'd say the 3000 is still an amazing piece of hardware. However, if you want to fully immerse yourself in the ever-changing digital DJ world, then the CDJ-3000X is definitely one to look out for. If CDJs aren't your cup of tea, and you'd rather check out the market for excellent controllers instead, then check out this video next.